Hey everybody, it's Jay, it's Nick. We're back from Sears Pointless at Sonoma. All kinds of stuff happened, so here you go. I want to say first, Butt-Turrible LS engine swaps. I actually had a guy at this race stop me. Hey man, you got to do something about all these American V8 swaps into these cars. Like, that's so unfair. Okay, dude, first of all, none of those cars ever finished better than like 85th out of 90 cars. And you know why? Because those motors are terrible.
But it's not only General Motors that's terrible. Let me tell you a little story about a Ford Mustang. So this team, they're driving along. Then there's a big full course caution that lasted for a while. It was probably one of those LS's blew up and there was a giant cleanup. So everybody's driving around, all right, it's full course caution. We're gonna drive around at a prudent pace. These guys in the Mustang thought, oh man, this is my opportunity to win. And they just started passing everybody. For like 5 minutes, they're going around and passing. I talked to Jesse Cortez in the base truck, and he said, oh man, the first time he went by, I was like, hey, what the heck? Like, what's up with this guy? And by the fourth time he passed me, I was like, dude, that guy's awesome.
But on the Hella Sweet side, there were still some cars hanging around here in California that were at the very first Altamont race, more than 10 years ago, and these cars are still out there. There was a Jetta.
And let's just talk about the MitsuBeastie for a second. It's a fur-covered Mitsubishi Mirage that is campaigned by the Works Tuning Shop, which is right there on site at Sonoma. They're known for very high-end tuning products and performance
this
parts.
This car is doing nothing for their reputation.
This is an automatic Mirage covered in fur, moldy and gnarly. What a machine.
Also hella sweet, the Arcane Auto Society brought out their cars and they parked them right in the paddock. They were super cool. There was the best Renault 1976 R16. R16. Unbelievably cool. And we had cool car trucks. We always love a cool car truck. We had the Ramblero, which is the 6-cylinder Rambler turned into a Ranchero. We had a real Ranchero. And then we had the Fiero Bravada S10. I don't even know what this thing is.
So the story of this, as I've been told, is their favorite car in the world, Pontiac Fiero.
Because why wouldn't it be?
You know, you're getting a little older. It's
engine,
low,
American muscle.
It's got a short roof. You know, the Fiero, as much as we love it, is not comfortable for us anymore. But what if we were to take a Chevy S10 cab in an Oldsmobile Bravada front clip, put it on top of a Fiero chassis? I think the solution worked out brilliantly.
And how did that car finish?
Last.
And then we got this Ford Contour that's got the big LED screen. You could actually text messages to it from the paddock. Got him! That's so great.
They're working on technology where you can send pictures to it. I'm sure that will cause no issues whatsoever. So then there was this team. I'm going to go ahead and put them in Hella Sweet, although maybe it was a little debatable.
Shading on both.
So it's a team. They've got their own auto body shop called Lido Auto Body, and they brought what looked like a 94, which means it was probably a 2010 Chevy Impala. It had some electrical problem where they couldn't turn the wipers off, and of course, instead of like cutting the wires, they just took the arms off. So if you look down in the cowl, the wiper motor's going at full speed. And the car, you know, as Phil pointed out, those cars are cheap. They're everywhere in the junkyard, and they're relatively modern, and they kind of have decent power, and nobody ever
totally awesome race cars.
I don't know. Why don't more people do that?
I have no idea.
Well, maybe I do.
What do you have to say about that? I'd have to say that as an American, this makes me feel proud.
A couple of new Hella Sweet penalties at this race. We had a team that made a lemons-themed jigsaw puzzle.
The I got the line puzzle.
Which teams had to reassemble in order to complete their penalty. And Jeff Gates from Alloy Motors right down the street brought his, what seemed like about 4 miles.
It was definitely like the 400-mile long slot car track.
HO slot car track. And he had teams build the closest replica to Sonoma Raceway as they could with this slot car track. And I don't know, I guess they did an okay job.
And then I just want to talk about the Volvo BMW swap. So now the Bernal dads, they took their Volvo, they put a big BMW engine in. The car actually runs pretty damn great.
Runs good.
So now these other guys showed up for this race. They took their E30, they put a Volvo engine in it. I mean, I don't think it was the same engine. Maybe it was. But anyway, the Volvo engine BMW should actually, it's a 4-cylinder, lot of pressure.
Turbo.
It's a high pressure turbo. Thing ought to run great.
It did not run great. No, it blew up.
It was very sad. But brilliant idea, almost as good as Nick's idea, where you got to take a Miata and put a flathead Ford in it. I think that's genius.
Actually, the flathead Miata was, I think, Phil's idea, maybe by way of Dave Shibley and Fish. My idea, maybe this was Sajiv's idea.
Yeah.
So many great ideas.
Yeah.
Was
It's hard to keep straight.
to have a two-car team, RX-7 and XR7, where it's a Cougar and a Mazda RX-7, and the motors are swapped between the two.
That is genius.
That's the best idea of them all.
That's really good. The heroic fix trophy, no surprise, went to an Alfa Romeo Alfetta sedan.
Oh, it was surprising.
Perhaps I should say yes. The word fix and Alfetta are used in the same sentence.
Yes.
That is perhaps a surprise. And in fact, if I'm correct, they really didn't fix the car.
Tried to fix it.
They tried to fix the car. They
was a
fixed a
heroic.
lot of things on the car heroically, but not enough to actually make it race. So they fixed the cage, they fixed the body, they fixed the drives, the transaxle, but then they could not fix when a whole, basically the size of my head, ejected aluminum out of the block.
Yeah, it was the size of Sardinia. Came right out of the
It was
side.
shaped like Sardinia too.
Yeah.
No, those poor bastards. Anyway, they got a trophy.
Speaking of Alfa Romeos, the I Got Screwed trophy went to our friends at the Alfa Romeo Sindicante Alexante, or however you say it in Italian. But it's Bill Arnold, it's Wes Conklin. Great dudes, great car. So this is a
Really fast car.
Yeah, this is
Really
an Alfa
fast
GTV6 V6 engine. They got rid of the transaxle because that thing totally sucks. Bill Arnold runs a great BMW shop in San Rafael. He made an adapter to put a BMW 5 Series gearbox behind it. That was great. The only problem with this race was it seemed to have a big target on it, where other cars were just crashing into it repeatedly until finally it got stuffed right in the wall. All four corners got rounded off. The car is totaled.
The whole car is shaped like that.
Yeah,
I mean, there's a 30-degree bend in the car.
And they had been working every day for like 2 weeks because this car hadn't run in a little while. This is actually a former race winner.
It is.
And it needed a bunch of stuff, and they were working on it day after day leading up to the race. The first time it really ran was loading itself on the trailer, and then they went out there. They got screwed.
The special award was the De-Education Camp Award. Now sometimes we get these teams, it's a whole bunch of high school kids in shop class, and they build a race car as their project. And then, I don't know how that works, the teachers get to drive in the race. Seems grossly unfair to me, and probably a violation of child labor laws.
Probably.
However, these guys are pretty great. The Blue Oak School.
This was a middle school, by the way.
Oh, that's
These were
even
like
better.
12-year-olds.
Okay, I don't feel so bad that the adults are actually driving now, but in any case, so really nice kids, really nice teachers, kind of cool cars. I mean, it was pretty great, and then the teachers started getting penalties, and more penalties and more penalties. So we gave them the De-Education Trophy because they are actually inspiring these children to be less organized, healthy, and mature than they already are, and we thought that deserved recognition.
Judge's choice went to NSR and their flat black Ford 302 swapped 80s Toyota Celica. This was the first time team. The engine swap was not of the type that you see setting track records. It was like they went and found a Ford pickup, took a 302 and a C4 automatic out of it, glued it into a Celica. The radiator was 3 feet too tall, no problem, just cut a slot. And they had a great attitude. They were driving around and around. They entertained the judges the entire time. You know, the only thing I can't figure is what NSR stands for.
Nutsack racing.
USA! USA! USA!
The organizer's choice, I don't really even know where to go with this. So it's Myopic Motorsports. And these guys have been coming forever. They're really nice guys. They really behave well on track. And they always do these fabulous themes. They're very involved and they're very creative. And we thought that they deserve some recognition for sort of the cumulative effect. But this time they really sold it because they did a whole Rene Magritte surrealism theory, including the giant smoking pipe on top of the car. Oh, it was just fabulous. And the best thing about it was Phil was so flipped out over it. Oh my God, surrealism lives! Only Phil would just completely get that deal. So these guys, they made Phil's day, therefore they made my day. Therefore, organizer choice.
And the index of effluency goes to Restart Racing and their white Ford Ranger, which looks like an 81, which probably means it's a 91.
Yeah, yeah.
And they've been bringing this truck now to California races for a long time.
It's got a great theme, actually.
Yeah.
The theme is it's the corner worker transport truck.
Right.
Every track you go to, there's some hoopty-ass old 1981
That's
pickup
true.
truck and a whole bunch of dudes in white corner worker suits, like 50 of them, like a clown car, climb in the back, and then they drop a few on the way out to the corner station.
Right.
Anyway, so that's the theme of these guys.
Yeah, and this truck totally could be that truck. The one
I think it is that truck.
I think
actually.
they probably stole it from Buttonwillow on one of our previous trips.
Right.
Anyway, they've been around for a long time, great people, and they finish really high, which of course is an integral part of winning the IOE. So, terrible car, high finish, IOE.
There you go. All right, here's Lemons in a nutshell.
Got him!
I'd have to say that as an American, this makes me feel proud. This is what General Motors really is all about. You know, when they first got going, and it was Mr. Sloan, was it? We decided they'd have at the bottom there'd be Chevrolet, and then as you became wealthier and more successful, you worked your way up through Pontiac, Oldsmobile, Buick, all the way to Cadillac. I think these guys are pretty well situated at the Chevrolet level right now.